Yo guys, what's up? Mark here, Tech Pepper from Twitch, and all of you guys wanted me to create a build guide video from the build that I'm using in the English language, and I will give my very best. It's the first time that I'm doing this, so let's see what we can do here. First of all, I want to show you my skills. But these skills and this skill tree is not really important. You don't have to create this one-to-one because there are some things you can change if you are more comfortable with another playstyle. For example, like the shield throw. This is not a must-have in this build, but I'm feeling really comfortable with because the damage of the shield throw stacks up with your weapon technique. And if you are stacking up this stat weapon technique, you earn more damage from that instead of the Sundering Slam, for example. Or you can remove these 3 points and put it in another skill you are more familiar with. Also, the elements is a special thing that you can decrease, but if you want to be an all-rounder, which this build is, you should be skill nearly like this. The next important thing, which is the biggest part of the game, and my personally favorite, which everybody should start with, is to have a look on the stats. So this game is a hardcore grinder, and every item you are found and you are drops in 1,000 different ways. So there is no exactly the same item you are earn. I've now played over 700 hours this game and I really enjoyed it, but there are really a huge amount of little bugs that makes me not really happy about it. But let us stay tuned in the things that we have to look on. So if I open up the page, you see my key stats. It's really nice because I changed the language of my PlayStation 5 and the translation is horrible. Really. The translation is really horrible. If you would translate one-to-one, what we are seeing here in German, this is called wichtige Stats. And if you would translate it directly, it means important stats. But anyway, you see there are really high numbers at that point because I spent really much time in it and I found the items with the right stats. But let us have first a look on some specific stats like the resistances. The resistances down below, down below, are the important ones. So like the physical resistance, fire, water, air, earth, and void resistance. You want to max out these because the more damage you can avoid or take is the best way to stay alive and deal damage. You can't deal any damage if you are dead. So it's really simple, but this is the thing you have to look on if you are start playing the game, to have a look on these stats. And these stats means key stats because they are really important for you. So also the critical hit chance and the critical hit damage are stats that you are really need. If you don't have these stats on a weapon, in my opinion, the weapon is trash. Because you lose like 10 to 30% of the whole damage potential you can be deal if you are missing these stats. So for example, we have a quick look on my Wanderer's Ambition. I hope I said correct. There you can see in the secondary my stats. I get really lucky because the critical hit damage was on it, and if I am enchanted to legendary, I get also the critical hit chance. I pushed this stat and I earned in the 5th roll of upgrading this item also the critical hit chance, so I'm really happy about. But this is not normal, so it could be go right to the other way. So you could be really unlucky if there are no stats that you don't really need to push your damage to the highest, what you are looking for. So back to the resistances. How could you do that? You could do that with every kind of vitality item in this game. And we are starting with a vitality ring, like the Swice Embrace. The Swice Embrace is also a key item in this build because we are really focused in the weak points and the weak point damage. So we are trying to constantly and permanently hitting them. So we getting with this item the biggest amount of overhealth that we can earn. And there is the trick. In the secondary stats, you can see I really missed the 5th roll. I just misclicked it, and I'm hating me for that because I miss 5% all resistances, which hurts me really hard because to found a ring like that is a pretty hard investment of time in this game. And yeah, I will try to find another. But there you can see I pushed the stat that I am missing. So in the 3rd roll of upgrading your item, you have the chance to double the amount of the stat you got in the secondary. And in the 5th, you can earn a 4th stat. And that is what you have to do with your ring and with your arguments to earn like these stats. And in the 5th roll, if you earn the stat plus percent to all resistances, you push also the other resistances you can't be deal with. So for example, I will show you first some of these. There are my force barrier, and as you can see, I push the physical resistance and earn in the 5th upgrade the all resistance stat. And I do that pretty much on every vitality argument that I get to earn as much resistances as I can. And if you are doing that, you're getting really, really comfortable in the next fights you are going into. Because in the case of that, these Valor Plate got, as you can see, right up there, you take 5% less damage. And these 5% less damage means every damage. Every damage from hit, from spells, from everything, from dots, really from everything. And this is the best synergy to push these stat really, really high. So we are talk first about our standability of our chance to stay alive, and now we talk about a little bit of why should I take this Valor Plate, because it's also a defensive argument why we are not pushing an argument, an valor plate with an offensive stat. And this is because you don't have in every valor plate the same arguments that you can use, because there are some, like, I don't know what to say or what to say in English. The compositions are every time others, and you have the perfect combination in these valor plate to stacking up both of our important stats. So you have the chance to increase your resistances and your chance to stay alive, and you have also the chance, because of the 5 gray arguments where you can put everything into it what you want, to stack up our offensive. And that's what we are doing here in this build. So in my opinion, this valor plate is the mightiest one in the whole game, because no other valor plate gives you some stats like that. The 5% is a really huge stat. And if you are activate your Archon Fury, you have to know that you earn every bonus from the Archon Fury. So you push up your damage, everything you push up, but you earn also another really important thing. If your Archon Fury is ready, you earn 30% less damage. And not only you, the guys you are playing with also, if they stay in your yellow circle. What you earn if you are activate the Archon Fury. So if you play the game a little bit, you know if you are activating your Archon Fury and you take damage, this damage goes right into the Archon Fury in the during time. So if the damage you are taking are less than normally, you don't lose that much as you lose some in other valor plates. So it's a really nice synergy, and I played it like over 500 or 600 hours maybe, and there is nothing better than this valor plate. Yeah, it looks kind of weird, some like an kaiju or something else, Mr. Krabs maybe, but it is the mightiest valor plate in the whole game. So now we talked about the valor plate and our defensive stat. The next thing we are into are the arguments. So let's see what arguments we got here. This is the first argument we have. Frostfire. I switched the camera right back. And Frostfire means that we get 70% critical hit damage during Rampage. And if you are see the skill page, Rampage is a big part of our build. So why not pushing these stat? The next thing you see it. Yeah, my camera didn't avoid that. Is the 30. The best thing is the 30 in Primal. And if I'm going to the 30 in the Primal version, let's see first the stats right under my camera. Because I talked about it is a really important thing. So you can see there that I used an argument with weak point damage, and I also are focused in the weapon technique damage. So first of all, in our offensive stats, we want to have items with, for the arguments, weak point damage, weapon technique damage, and soul shatter damage. These 3 stats are really important for your arguments. Why only these 3 stats, because an argument doesn't have the chance to give you a stat like critical hit chance or critical hit damage, which you are also focused in. These stats given you only the items you are using, like the weapons, the amulet, and the talisman. There's the only way you can earn the critical hit chance and damage. Yeah, of course, there is an argument that gives you the critical hit damage, but you need to invest 30 of your drain in your argument skill tree, and believe me, this is the best way you can push up your damage like crazy numbers constantly, not for a short of time, constantly. So I switched the camera back, and as you can see, we have the 30. We also focused in the weak point damage, and as you can see, we have the weapon technique double in there. And before I forget that, it is really important, if you want to do the same build as me, that you are doing this. Okay. Yeah, my wife is laughing. That you are doing exactly the same. Don't try to move them, do exactly the same, because you need the synergy of the next argument. The next argument is foreboding reach. This means you earn 4% rampage damage for each 20 might argument that are nearly by. And this is the reason why this argument is right in the middle of an argument with 30 drain and an argument with 15 drain, because they have more might than an argument with 5 drain. Then we come to the next one, which is really important, the Twilight Bloom. The Twilight Bloom is like the 30. It is an argument that you don't want to miss, because it gives you in the primal version. Yeah, I got very much of these primal things, but I started also like new players with the non-primal version, and it looked like the same, and it worked really, really the same. 120% plus weapon technique damage is instead you don't want to miss. And as you can see, I find also many of these, but I'm really focused into the stats. And we do a short break where I can show you what I mean. It makes really no sense that you put in an argument that has shitty stats. So what do I mean with that? If you are a player like me that don't play with the polarity, so if you are switch the weapon, he smashes on the floor and something like blazing bolts are there, you don't need this stat. So, for example, also this is a good example. There is a Twilight Bloom that got 19% weapon technique damage. It got weak point damage, which we are also focused in, but it got Great Sword. I don't play with Great Sword, so this is an argument I don't would put into it, because I lose an completely secondary stat that goes right into nothing. So beware of and focused in that you find some arguments with the right stat, which is good for your build. So also like these, you can think about, yeah, let's have a look. There are 144% weapon technique damage. This is more as the other gut. And there is soul shatter damage, which we are also using, but have a look on it. There are earth damage as a secondary stat. And if you have a weapon that don't use earth damage, this is like totally wasting the secondary stat. Totally. And if you remember, this Twilight Plume gets 20% less weapon technique damage, but 10% plus dual blade damage. And if you playing long enough, you realize how these different stats stack with each other. So there's a linear way where the stats stacking up each other. Back to the important part, the argument tree. The stats you are also known. As you can see, we use also Paradise because it gives us weapon technique charge speed if we are doing a crit. And there you can see it is everything on weapon technique damage. If there would be a Paradise with the weak point damage, it would be also a great idea to put that into it. Or the dual blades if you have nothing else. If you have really nothing and are at the beginning of the game, you could be use pretty much everything, but you should switch it if you earn a good one. We talked about the defensive things. I take with the Lion's Pride because we are killing enemies with our shield throw, mostly in the first part of the game, and we can earn from that a really big amount of overhealth. It is also good during the fights where we can't hit a weak point, so you can switch this or you can take this like the same. Force Barrier is a key item of this build because if you gain 50% or more overhealth, your attacks cannot be interrupted. And this is the thing why this build is so fucking strong. You don't run out of you don't run out of overhealth, and this is why your attacks cannot be stopped. Sure, the bosses which are doing the red might attacks, these could be kick you back, or the guys with the Genki Dama if they do the smash. Yeah, that's attacks that can interrupt you, but every other attack which knocks you back, it will never knock you back again. And the important thing is, have a look on the secondary stats. Have every time a look on the secondary stats. If there are stats you don't need, you don't profit from it, just don't use it. Smash it or take it in your jar, whatever. Razor's Edge is also a key item because we can take a very huge amount of hits, and we want to take them because this argument says whenever you are hit, your next attack deals 45% more damage. And that is why you are see so fucking big numbers in my streams or in my... Oh, did I say that? Let's see. YouTube will tell me if that's okay or if that's not okay. Yeah. That is the reason why this build works so well. Instead, we are getting hit because we wanted to deal more damage. And last but not least, Divine Conduit, it's a really good argument because we can put it in. It means also you gain 50% Archon Fury charge speed for 10 seconds whenever you are hit it. So we want the hits. Why should we not something make good of it? And this is the best part. So this is the argument tree with the stats and the arguments you should be focused in. You almost can change this, but trust me, I tested so many things out of it, and this is really the best composition of arguments in this build because it's mighty as hell. Back up to the gear. We don't talk about the weapon yet. We have a look on every other item. Heartsong Amulet we are using because we earn a bonus stat in the primary 18% Soul Shatter build up during Rampage. We are pretty much every time in Rampage, so why not take these with us? The important thing of this amulet is the secondary bar. As you can see, there are only the important ones that we are focused in. This is really hard to get because you have to enchant it and be very lucky. Critical hit chance, critical hit damage, soul shatter buildup, and weak point damage. You want the same from the Lion Talisman. Yeah, please don't laugh. I don't have the Lion Talisman in Primal after over 700 hours of gameplay in good. And that's my best talisman I've earned because the 7% is like the maximum you can earn in the normal version. So whenever we perform a crit, we earn 7% weapon technique charge instantly. So the Lion Talisman is the talisman you should be used pretty much in everything because the weapon technique is also an important function of the battle system. So you have to play with. You can't ignore that. You have to use it. If you would find a talisman with crit chance, crit damage, weak point, and have the chance to roll up weapon technique or soul shatter build up, this would be like a god roll, like this one. Another key item, because we are constantly hitting the weak points, because we are using the 30 and we are really focused in, we gain by hitting the weak points the Archon Fury charge and the Archon Fury charge speed. Both of these with this ring. It's in Spirit Ring, so you can earn also Archon Fury, as you can see if you are really lucky. Swice Embrace we have talked about. We are hitting the weak points with this item to gain pretty much overhealth. And now there comes two items that are not really important because if you have the chance to build up this build directly, you noticed really fast that you never will use a lifestone again. If you are playing a little bit with brain, you will never use a lifestone again. So all these stats on these Archon tier looks pretty good and pretty heavy, but you only have the chance to earn it if you are using a lifestone. So that's it. For the banner, you can use Nisa banner or Lion banner. I prefer the Lion banner because I don't need more damage that I am taking, so more damage that I'm dealing. So I'm interested into getting as fast my Archon Fury, my weapon technique, and my shield charge as fast as it's possible. So I stand up with these banners. And now to the fact that you are really often with the weapon. So I tested this build with every kind of weapon, and it works with every weapon, like on the different playstyle of the weapon. But these dual blades I am using are the heaviest weapon in this game. There's no other weapon that is strong like that, because the Wanderer's Ambition are the only weapon that gives you +% damage, and really of everything, not of a single stat like the crit chance or something like that. So it gives you the whole amount of +70% or 60% damage if you are find it in primal. If you have it in normal, it's like 50%. Yeah, but these dual blades are, guys, there's no better weapon than this. The secondary weapon is a weapon that I am really familiar with, the longsword. I really love the play of a longsword. So these are both my favorite weapons. And I want to show you fast why the dual blades, not only this dual blade, but the dual blades are the strongest weapons in the game. We don't do it in the trainings room because the mobs in the trainings room are instantly getting yeah, killed, and don't hold so much that I can show you why these dual blades are so fucking strong. Again, sorry. Yeah. So the only thing you are interested in is to hit the mobs, charge the weapon technique speed up, and only for the first bar you activate it. And what you see there, if you are activating your dual blades, it blinds the mobs. So if you activate your northern technique, as you can see, I'm using it, you are blinding the mobs. And the dual blades are the only weapons that can do this with their weapon technique instantly. So think about, you charge your weapon technique to use the northern technique and blind the mobs. And what also happens is, if you are in the inner focus, and the inner focus is the northern technique, you deal during the time when it's active +70% damage. Yeah, you earn 25% more, but you don't are interested in, because your resistances and your defensive stats are really high, so you don't care. You really don't care. So first thing, beware of, you can blind enemies by using your northern technique. Okay? And the next important thing, if you have done that, activate your inner focus, your northern technique, you can use your southern technique to climb up the mobs. And as you can see, during you are fishing the mobs are getting a little bit stunned for 1 second. And you can use it constantly. There is no during time. You can use it permanently. So, as you can see, if I'm fishing this mob, he getting right to my position and getting a little bit confused for that. So you have the chance, as you remember the 30, if you are hitting a mob with your weapon technique, it shows you also instantly the weak point. So grab it, hit it, grab it, hit it, grab it, and it's die. But come on, I will show it again. blind every mob. As you can see, they are there. Grab it and they die. So you just see it right in this video. No other weapon can do this. And if I'm changing the language to English, the boons and banes and every custom things look like other things and better than the German ones. Okay. Yeah. Doesn't matter. So finally, there is one more thing to say. You known about the key stats, the important stats. It's a better word for that. You know about your resistances. You know about the valor plate. You know about which argument you should use and which you can switch in this build. And some really important thing if you are focused in how to look in the game, you have the chance to do this with Armistice totally the same, because the arguments you can use the same arguments in the same way like in Aegishorn. Only different is you earn more rampage bonus damage because of the positioning of these argument. But here a little look. I will have it for a few seconds. You can pretty much do the same with the same items and the same playstyle and the same skills. So the only thing is you have another look if you are interested in that. But beware of the 5% less damage from every potential is gone. So you earn a little bit more damage, but with these items, they are strong like that. You really can't handle. You really can handle that. And that's what it is, guys. Nothing special, only spending much time in it and have a really lucky moment where I earn really, really good items. And that's what it is. The last thing I want to show you before we are ending this video, and I just see we are almost at 37 minutes, is a dual blade. Oha, a dual blade, yeah. The Twin Dragons. The Twin Dragons have the potential to drop in a very specific variation, as you can see. The Twin Dragons are like the Sword of Dominance, a tower weapon which can drop with 2 primary stats, but not in primal, but with 2 primaries. And you have the Wanderer's Ambition, sorry, and the primary effect of the Storm Strikers on it. And this is also a really, really, really heavy weapon, because you never have to do again a strong attack to kick these Soul Shatter build up. Because if you are activate the inner focus, every attack, every low attack is a Soul Shatter attack, and you will see melting the bars of the mobs. Really melting. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have some questions or if you have some things that I can do better or say better, let me know. Just please let me know in the comments. Give me these if you are happy about it. Give me these if you are sad about it. If you wanna help me out, do that. And if you wanna help me also out, give me a follow in the stream of Twitch. I'm every weekend online and helping every guy that needs help or girl. Yeah, spend me the follow, spend me a subscription if you are really enjoying that. Come in our little familiar community and have fun. There are so many great people that helped me out really heavy. I really enjoy that, and I never thought that this would be so big and great. But yeah, we had our moments, and I really appreciate that. So on this way, thank you, and thank you to all of you that are doing this. And sorry for this and English. I'm trying my best to be better in the future. So take care and have fun, new gods. Hope we see us on Twitch. I will um, send you the link in the description down below. And happy fragging. Bye, guys.